What's on the Teofimo fight coming up and the Devin Haney fight coming up?
Who's Teo fighting?
Teo's fighting Cambosos.
Wow, they're still
doing that. Yeah, they're still doing that.
Wow, they're still trying to. I thought they gave up on it. Honestly, I was in camp with Teo prior to the. Yeah,
Eddie gonna get
I was in camp with Teo prior to getting ready for the first one, and I actually had one of my guys sparring with him. Teo looked really good, and I thought that he was be successful in the fight. So I still feel the same thing's gonna happen. I actually got to go to Cambosos camp as well in Florida, and I saw him, tough fighter, but I see Teo coming out on top of that.
And your thoughts on the
Devin Haney fight? No less.
The Devin Haney fight coming up in the top of December? How do you feel about
that's a tough one for me. There's two things going on there. And I know all these guys take this stuff personal. You should not.
Yeah.
You signed up for this. Right. People gonna talk about you. Some people gonna say something you like. Other people gonna say something you don't like. That's what I mentioned up there. It's just opinions, right? So here we got Devin, ultra talented fighter, born in the gym, basically. Been around some of the greatest trainers, not some, the greatest trainers in the world. Everybody from Mayweather to Roy Jones Jr., greatest fighter, Roy Jones Jr., to greatest fighter in the world, Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? He's been around all of these great people. I even spent a year or two in the gym with him, right? He's been around, so he's absorbed so much from being with these people. I used to say, well, if you go to college, you can learn a lot of things from a book, but if you are also able to travel the world and go places and experience things, you can learn a lot of things through the experiences. So you balance that out, right? So this kid's got all these great experiences with all these great people, right? Now, switch it over to Jojo. I was with Jojo for a year in Colorado Springs on the Olympic team. I was the technical coach for the 2012 Olympic team. Pound for pound on that team, no knock against anybody, my job was to do an assessment on everybody on the team and also an assessment on everyone that we were going to fight. Not who was just in the tournament, but who had medaled in any tournament leading up to that or even in the previous Olympics. So I had to look at film from guys from 2008 all the way up to 12, because some of the guys from 8 was returning again in 12. Alexander Usyk, who we got a decision over, was one of those guys. He was on the 08 team, came back and got a medal, right? So, got the gold, no less. So, that was my job. Pound for pound, Jojo was the most technically sound fighter on the team, right? And he's had all these experiences of national tournaments, going to world championships, going to the Olympics. So, this is what's going on between him and Devin, the ultra talent, and then this guy who's fundamentally extremely sound and been to all of these different tournaments. So I haven't decided who I'm going to go with. I mean, who I think is going to win that fight, but it's going to be a great one.
Devin going to win because Devin is not going to play JoJo's game. See, Devin
well, let me say this. And this is from my experiences with both guys. I spent time in the gym with Devin for a couple of years. I spent time with Jojo for a year and traveled to other countries with him, Azerbaijan and these different places that we went, right? The ultra talented kid in Devin will probably prevail in this fight, but I haven't went back to study that to see how much they've changed since I actually worked with them. So if you pressing me to the, I'm saying Devin, but I know what JoJo's bringing to the table. But I want to see what has changed since then, because that's a long time. That's a long time since 2012 to now. Same thing.